Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I'm here with
welcome,
Fishel.
welcome to my house for both you and your wife, and I hope you'll have many more visits in the coming year or years,
Amen.
as much as he will give me, you know.
Fishel, Motzei Shabbat, the whole community got together, and I was telling my story of my recent trip to Israel during the war. And after I spoke, you spoke so beautifully, and it wasn't recorded. And what triggered me and why I wanted to talk to you today is you said, then I was 9 and now I'm 90, and it's the same story.
Yes, you see, I've seen many of the, lived through all the ones that Israel has had prior to this big one, all the small little things. Every 2-3 years, they've had another fight with the different people, from whether it was from Hezbollah or from Hamas, and that was war. It's not a pleasant thing, and it's not good, and we lost people, particularly in the Yom Kippur War. But this was in the sort of greater thing of war, which is normal. People get in a war get killed. What was different this time was that they invaded, went over the border. Of course, everybody was asleep in Israel because they were busy with the politics, and they forgot that they have neighbors that can come and destroy them. So I'll talk about this another time. I remember, and Yom Kippur, when I made my speech at Yizkor, I said, how long will it be before the enemies of Israel will attack them? And God forbid, this time they may be victorious. And that, to me, meant a lot of things. You see, I've been a Zionist all my life, and my father before me as well. And Israel, the Eretz Yisrael, was something that we longed for. Not only my parents and me, but thousands and millions of people, throughout the ages. It's been 2,000 years that we prayed in our books, in the tefillah, and that repeats and repeats many times. And we prayed, and what I was afraid was that this time, because nobody was at the wheel, so to speak, you gave him a free hand. They just came in, and what do? They committed the kind of horrible killings by killing babies and killing women and assaulting women and it was, to me, it was just another part of the Holocaust. And had they not gotten together real fast and everybody went to their station where they belonged, they would have gone on. I don't even think any other way. They would have gone. And it would have been another Holocaust, but this time we would lose 8 or 9 million people instead of losing 6 million people. We have to remember that they've been talking about, throw the Jews into the sea, all the Jews, without exception. So that didn't go away from them. Not then, not all the way for 75 years. So we had a country. So, and it's important for us to have a country that Israel that's there. No matter all their crazy shtick and the politics with this crap, it is what it is. But we have a country that we can call ourselves. And although the Israelis are not that crazy about the people that say that you can't mix into us, that's baloney. We can mix, and we should, and we should talk to them. And I explain to them, every Jew belongs to that country. Every Jew in the world. Something that they don't like to hear. And I did that when I spoke to them in Israel.
You're a Holocaust survivor. We've heard your story. You have lived through not only the Holocaust, but you've lived through the entire span of the 75-year history of Israel. You've watched it. Myself and most of the people who are experiencing this war right now, I don't like calling it a war, because it's just something that Israel has to do as a result of a terrible, terrible attack. But we're all living through this, and it's really hit us, this young generation, in a way that nothing before, at least in my lifetime, has ever hit me. And you react to it very differently.
Yes, because I have a history. Maybe that's the reason. You see, I witnessed my little friends in the ghetto die, who were shot on the street where we lived. The Germans, if I get a little bit too much, you'll tell me. The Germans had a way of shooting with they called dum-dum bullets, which the bullet enters the person, and it explodes. Just to make sure that they can kill differently, which of course they did. And they shot babies and people and men, women, young girls, young boys. There was no difference. Anybody and everybody got shot. We escaped, of course, from the ghetto, but the year in 3 months or 4 months that we were there, they were making one-day pogroms all the time, usually in a Jewish holiday. Just to give you another
Similar to what happened now. It was
yes,
done on a
yeah,
Jewish holiday.
absolutely. What they did, they
It's
learned.
out of the Nazi playbook.
Yeah, they learned it from the Germans. The Germans learned it from the Romans. It's just a simple thing. The killing was the same. And when on October the 7th, when I saw what was going on, see, I watch television and I read three papers. That's because I took I took that in the university when I was and at that time. It's Concordia today. It was at that time when I was going, and it was Sir George Williams. But so I am into politics anyways, but this was special. When I saw that, and I was in a friend's house, he got some videos that they didn't allow it, or they didn't want to put it on. So I saw some of the killings that were there. And immediately I thought about, oh my God, I saw this movie when I was 9 years old. And now I'm 90, and it's the same thing. That was number one. Secondly, I felt that if they don't get back and do something, I'm talking about the Israeli army, they'll take away Israel from me. The Israel that I always prayed for and talked about with my father, in school and everything. That they're going to kill everybody in Israel. And that was, I didn't sleep the first 3 days, and the Lord said, come on, you gotta get over this. It's not going to help them. I said, oh, I don't know how it's going to help them. It's helping me. I feel if I was younger, let me just tell you that when the business with the Yom Kippur War, which we thought they were going to win, a lot of people, first of all, the Israelis, like this time, the Israelis had to go back, everybody to their unit.
People who were in reserves.
In the reserves, yes.
Yeah.
And from all over the world. But there were also people that were not Israelis, who they
volunteered.
Volunteered to go there.
Did you go?
And I didn't, because my wife at that time was another wife. I was very upset, as I was, and she says, you can't leave me here and go to die, and we have little kids, and we want to survive. And she talked to me, but I actually went down at that time to register, and I registered. They called me, but then it started to go good. It started to go better because everybody was not asleep anymore. So they did what they had to do, and of course they smashed them out. And so this was the kind of feelings that I felt, and I already felt bad that at the Yisco time when I sort of talked to something that actually happened.
It was a bit prophetic.
I'm sorry?
It was a bit prophetic what you had said,
Yes.
Yisker. It was just a few weeks before.
That's right. 2 weeks before.
There's a lot of young people today that have woken up. I say woken up in a lot of different ways. Woken up to the reality of what it means to be a Jew, the reality of what it means to be a Jew in Israel, a Jew in the diaspora, outside of Israel. What's your message to them?
My message to them and to Israelis. I know that they're patching around with the politics, but you can't get away from saving the country and saving the people in the country. You can't just go in the street and protest and everything by the hundreds of thousands, and they leave the borders empty. It's unheard of. The fact that and Netanyahu, as far as I'm concerned, is guilty.
We can't. Right now, we have to deal with the war and with what's going on, and we can't ask these questions.
The one thing I remember saying that evening is that that it's not over. And in my testimonies, when I speak to young people and students and or older people, I always say that thing of the Holocaust can
happen again.
Rehappen.
And that's really what I want to get to. You've been saying never again.
For a long time.
For a long time. For 78 years you've been saying never again. And then the state of Israel was born and you said never again. And look at this. What do you say now?
I say that it is it's a shame and it's that people and even forget about the people that are in Parliament and in the Knesset and all that. Forget that. But people, flyers, all the flyers, all the ones that are bombing now. Now nobody was there. They were all in protest. And other people, I don't know, they have so many divisions and so on. They have a navy now, and nobody was at the place where they should be. Why? Didn't they know what these people want? And in particular, I think that it's a shame to say it, that Netanyahu has blood on his in his thinking and of his doing. He has blood on his hands. That's just my opinion.
Sarah was telling me that the uh, the the person in Israel who's in the UN last week. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
He came to the UN wearing a printed yellow star with a Jude on it. How do you feel about that association?
Absolutely it's a good.
You agree with that association?
For me, it's just an extension. This would happen now.
So what you see now to you is just part of the Holocaust. It's the same story, and it's happening again.
The difference was that at that time it was in Poland, it was in Ukraine, it was in Romania, and so on and so forth. It was different. This was more important.
Tell me why.
Because they were the protectors. These people are protectors of our land, our Israel. And they failed to do their job. They knew what was going to happen. And if these guys come over, they may have not known that they're going to, it's going to be like a massacre and killing babies and so on. But they knew that they weren't going to be very happy with us. At best, if all the ones from all the Arab neighbors were to come together, they may have succeeded. If it wasn't only Hamas, I thought for sure, and I'm not sure even today, that it's not going to happen. Nasrallah made a speech yesterday or the day before, and he says we're going to attack. The fact that he is making the speech, to me, I don't think he's going to do it at this point. But if they really get, they bomb them all out and so on, they may just do that. Right now, Iran is holding him back because Iran doesn't want to have to fight against Israel, against the U.S. Okay, so they're holding him back, but they would have, and people in other countries that are there, Iraq, even Iran. What would happen? They would demolish everybody in Israel. Had they not, really everybody, that first day everybody was running back to their post. They had to do what's necessary.
Yeah.
So
you and I
just didn't want to have another Holocaust.
Right.
I've seen it, and I can and I talk about it all the time. In fact, I have a testimony tomorrow, and I talk to thousands of young people, both in English and French. I've done it, and it's really something. The last time we were in Israel, I went to Yad Vashem. And as I was, they have pictures and videos all over, and you walk from one room to another room. And so one of the rooms was a picture of a ghetto. I think they were showing the Vilna ghetto. But the ghettos were the same. They were very precise, the Germans. So it was just a matter of size. So the Krakow ghetto, because of a bigger city, was the same. And I mean, in the way they put it together. So I was, what was I saying?
So you were in Yad Vashem.
Oh yeah. So I was in Yad Vashem, and we're looking at this picture, and a bunch of young Israelis. The first one, when they are 18 and they have to go to serve, they have to go first and see Yad Vashem.
Right, it's part of their training.
Right.
Part of the soldier when they're 18 and they have to go serve in the army.
So there was a whole bunch, I would say, maybe 20, 25, and they had a madrich with them, and they had also from the museum
A guide.
Guide, and so they were going for also, and they came around into this room, and they were looking, and they said. They spoke Hebrew, of course, and they said, "Look at the little boy in the ghetto." Showed the little boy, probably my age, and I stood there and I was listening, and I said, "אני הייתי ילד קטן כמו בשם." Oh. Are you a survivor? I said, yes. Oh, you have to tell us about it. In the meantime, so I'm talking to them, and the guy that their madrich said, "Come on, we can't stop here. Let's keep going. We have to go to a lot more to see." So I said, okay. They wanted to hear my whole story. I said, "Tell you what, when I finish here, I'll come outside. When you finish, you'll be outside, and then we'll speak. We'll talk." And I told them at that time, "You are going to be protectors of all the Jews in the world. Because no matter where it happens, you are going to have the responsibility to save us in Canada, United States, or any other country in the world. That it's going to happen." I'm not sure that it would be, but that's what my thought was at the time. And it's true. We need Israel in the worst way. I hate their politics. I took political science in school. Not that I remember much of it. But one thing I remember, the politics can cause a war, no matter where in the world. It usually does. And we haven't got, as Jews, we cannot have the kind of things that are going on politically in the country.
Yeah.
It's just cannot be. These people are there. They have 4 million people in the same area, and you're going to throw them out? Where are you going to throw them? Are you going to shoot them? What are we, Nazis? These people are living in that area. You have to eventually I can't see that this will be the same the way it was.
Right. So you and I, we're in Montreal now.
Yes.
We're not in Israel. There's another war that's going on that you just mentioned. The war of public opinion.
Yes.
There's the war of people not really understanding. I think there's two things that a lot of people don't understand. One is the history, which I think you've spoken about quite a bit. And the other one is why the Jews and why here? It seems to be the story. Again, to you, it's almost an obvious question. But to this generation, we have, thank God, thanks to you and thanks to so many others, we have not faced this challenge. But it's being faced now on the campus of the university you went to. It's very strong.
Yeah.
And many other university campuses and many other young people that are almost like a revisionist history that's happening. So why the Jews?
Why the Jews? An old question that goes back centuries. But I differ with you on the question. I know what's going on very well. I read about it. I see it on television. I know exactly what it is. I'm also speaking to many. I've spoken in England. I've spoken in France. I've spoken in the United States several times. Look, I know what you're saying, and I know that the people around now, yeah. How come they weren't the first 2 days that was going on? How come nobody was complaining? It just was, just happened, I think, and you don't want to show it, and that's it. When did it start happening? Now that when they're hitting them back, that's when it's happening. And what is this? Is this something new for us Jews? They didn't like it in Germany. They didn't like it in Sweden. They didn't like it everywhere, no matter where we were. What, we didn't have anti-Semitism here? And they didn't burn our shuls all over the world at one point or another? I'm not particularly scared, because this is something, it's just, okay, we have to be with them because we have to look out a different way. We people have to stay our thing. We cannot stop. And we have to tell them how we feel and how you make us feel bad. Even in this wonderful, beautiful country of Canada. I've been to many countries all over Europe. Most of them I ended up singing, but that's another story. But I also spoke to people. The anti-Semitism has never been less than what it is today. Always been there. All you need is just to, the Jews. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Because they asked me that question. Because we are here for Tikkun Olam. We are here to spread our Torah learning to the rest of the world. And we don't assimilate as much. I'll take the U.S. out of that. We don't assimilate. We don't take your gods or your beliefs that you have. We have the answer to how to fix the world. But the fact that they don't want to do it, so that's why it's by the Jews. So it's so easy. Why is it always the first ones are the Jews? They always ask me, almost every testimony that I make, they ask me, when you were hiding in the cave, did you still believe in God? Or they will ask me, did you, when you were hiding and you must have been mad at the Germans. Yeah, I was. Then why did you not convert to another religion? I say to them, because first of all, I believe in God, although I have a few questions. But no, we didn't lose our faith. We didn't lose our culture. And we came through it. And they are very, people that I talk to, of course. They listen. It's, I have to thank God for the fact that people listen to me. And I spread the word as much as I possibly can.
I have one last question for you.
Yes.
You live in NDG. It's not a particularly openly Jewish area.
Right.
You speak to your neighbors. Probably
Yes.
A lot of them are not Jewish.
Yes.
They look at you. You don't necessarily, they don't necessarily say every time they think of you, this is a Jew. And you say, oh, we're different. And a lot of people that I know, I walk down the street, I can't hide it. And I'm proud of that. I don't plan on changing that anytime soon.
I understand that.
But a lot of people I know, they blend in. They say, well, we are somewhat assimilated. This is not really our problem. What do you say to your neighbors? What do you say to the people here?
First of all, the first thing I do, I'm mixed with people, and but if I hear politically and all the other things that, anti-Semitism, I immediately speak up.
And what do you say?
I tell them, we have something that to give to this world. And we did. We've been given it more and more. The lawyers are still looking, the good lawyers are still looking in the Gemara. We gave you the things in the Ten Commandments that the rest of the world didn't have that. We got it, and then you adapted to us. Because if we would adapt to you, we wouldn't exist.
But what happened today is the opposite is true, which means today people kind of have shrugged off religion. Yeah, you'll say that it's true that majority of the world, maybe their parents or their ancestors, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all coming from Judaism, obviously. So the Judeo-Christian.
Right.
But today, people not only, I would say, they're not interested in religion. They've almost shrugged it off because of what you're saying, because it's created division. I don't know. I'll tell you the truth. I can't believe in the same God as a suicide bomber. I can't believe in the same God as someone who is divisive and is animalistic and hating.
So let me say to you, I have in my years, in all the years that I've been doing business, for instance, I remember there was a man. But I did a lot of industrial auctions all over Quebec. I know every little town and village. So I went to a lot of that. But here in Ontario, and I've done it all over the country, as a matter of fact. So the thing that you see, first of all, and I have to tell you this story. So this guy comes and he buys something. He comes back and he pays, comes back the next day after the auction, he pays his bill, and he's waiting for his truck to come to take his stuff out. So we're sitting in there, in the office, and he says to me, "Hey, Philippe," because my name is Philippe. "Hey, Philippe, c'est pas un Canadien, toi." Now, Canadien means Québécois, really.
Right.
Toi, tu pas un Québécois? Je dis, pourquoi? Je suis Québécois. Je suis un Québécois, pareil comme toi. Oh, mais non, Philippe, c'est pas ça. Toi, tu sais quoi? So now I know where he's going. I said, well, I don't wait for him. He said, and I said, I'm just reading in Juif. He opened up his mouth. Pas vrai! Pas vrai! C'est pas possible! What? Pourquoi c'est pas possible? Je suis Juif. He thought we had horns. Okay? That was here. And they were not the same kind of anti-Semites. Oh, you're out of Jews.
Maybe you're out of Jews. Okay, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I've been telling him of all my life, wherever I was. I was in Poland when I went to, first time I went to Auschwitz, so I was in Krakow, of course, which is right, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So we were tired, going to the different places. And I sat there, and I hear, and we ordered something, of course. We spoke English, and Lorna was with me at the time, and one of the waitresses says to the other one, "You see, these are Jews."
How do they know?
They know because we are different. We look different, we speak different, and we behave different.
And as much as we assimilate, that's not going to change.
No, it doesn't. So, I when she came over with the bill, I said, so I spoke Polish with her, and I said to her, "Tell me, what did you mean by that this is Jews? Do you see when you see other people, because they were in the district where all of it. So I said, well, you see the different people, let's say Ukrainians, Russians, Romanians. Do you also say, here's two Romanians? She realized what she said. No, I didn't mean it like that. I spent 15 minutes with her, explaining to her why I don't mind that you say that there's two Jews. I told her right in the beginning, I'm not mad at you for saying what you did, but I'd just like to know why it is like that. But I know the why. And it's, if you have never, of course, experienced anti-Semitism the way I did, this is a child's play. This is nothing, you know. When we came to Canada, I'm sorry if I'm blabbing out. Just when we came to Canada, there was more anti-Semitism than there is today. But it was still nice. It was a hell of a lot better than from where I came from. So this was beautiful. Good. There was the federal government was very anti-Semitic. Some of the people that were there, and the people from the provincial was the same thing. What else do you want to know?
I think this is
You've
was
heard
amazing.
enough.
No, not that I've heard. We can talk all day, but we have to at some point
Yes.
close it. What's your closing message?
First of all, we didn't even have a drink.
We didn't have a drink, but what's your closing message to everyone?
I mean,
okay, so let's make l'chaim. We'll make a l'chaim for you.
you sure you don't want to change your mind?
It's gonna be your birthday.
I'll get another.
It's gonna be your 90th birthday.
Yes.
So l'chaim, you should live to 130.
I am 130.
130. Inflation affects everything. L'chaim, l'chaim. We should be able to always say l'chaim.